Gene Miles, the Lotto Challenge champions, who now want to add the Winfield Cup of 91. Welcome to Lang Park, says 20,000 of their fans. The Winfield Cup of 91. We're underway. A long kick-off for Shearer, just inside his dead ball line. No love lost with the former Sea Eagle, 11 metres out from his own line. Across Tasman, and it's taken by Gavin Allen. Garrett Walters gets it away for Gilmester, who was in tremendous form at Broken Hill in the final of the Lotto Challenge. His best for some time. Miles hit strongly low by Tuvey, and then he gets assistance from 4 teammates.
Big Gino's got to prove tonight that he can take what's dished out in the forwards. Many people saying that Gene Miles not setting the right example as captain for the Broncos.
Now, Garrett Walters, Langer, pressure on him. Pressure on Shearer, just gets the kick in. Manly are trying to bustle. Ridge, taken by Reynolds. 40 metres from the Brisbane line. Manly. Stokes just from dummy half, he had no support. Quickly plays it. Williams. Hasler. Wide they go. Cunningham. Cunningham wrapped up and pushed back 5 metres. Kevin Walters and Miles supporting each other. Roberts. Head down. And just like Miles in the Brisbane pack, it'll be Roberts and Bella who will be closely marked. Switch of play called by Hasler. Out to Tuvey. Tuvey trying to use the short ball for Iro. Turns his back, the big centre.
Switches of play will work against Brisbane. They don't go up on both sides of the ruck.
Ridge trying for a short angle. And an awkward bounce for Khan, but he didn't get it. It's set up nicely for him. Right on the Brisbane 22.
This is the area where Manly's got to keep Brisbane contained. They can't let them get on the other side of halfway, Manly side of halfway, because that's where the Broncos really cut loose.
They're moving up quick, Manly. Tasman. Driven in a tackle by Cunningham. Finished off by Hosking as he was trying to get to his feet. Now Langer. Miles running strongly. Tried to get the one-hander away. Well, he threw that into a Manly player. I thought that should have been a scrum.
It was a blatant knock-on.
He's given 6 more to Brisbane.
Yeah, he's ruled that it came off a Manly player, but Miles lost it, no doubt, in that tackle by Tuvey.
Tasman. Tasman hit with a shoulder charge by Iro. How tough is he? He spun around and right up the middle.
Well, he's been knocked over by a stretch limo and he's still playing.
One of the comebacks it has been in rugby league. He played a reserve grade grand final last year. Now he's in the top grade. Allen. Langer on the blind side trying to get his kick in. He does so. He created his own space.
Garrett Walters in back play in Disneyland as the kick finds the sideline.
Now Walters was on all fours trying to get to his feet. He's with the trainer. Langer it was. You saw Walters just down on his knees in the back play. Langer got the kick in and a beautiful bounce for him. Ridge was showing the sideline, and in the end he could do nothing about it. Hasler to play it now. The first time for Manly inside their own danger zone. Good strong running from Dunford to get it out of there. Brisbane not as quick to get up in defence. Roberts, this time they are. Good hit from Allen. Put his shoulder right behind it. Tuvey. Hasler. Across the paddock trying to link up with Iro.
Madison getting ready on the sideline. Brisbane going to make first use of the interchange rule.
And Manly have already switched Hasler and Tuvey. Hasler was at 5'8" and Tuvey at halfback. They'll interchange all evening.
Roberts showed a short ball to a support player, didn't use him. Last tackle against Manly. Ridge took his time. Bouncing away from the sideline and back into the arms of Khan and Shearer. Shearer it is to bring it back. Stops and restarts. Taken by Stokes.
I'll tell you what, Graham, it's obvious that Manly have learnt the lesson from Penrith. That is, you've got to put Brisbane on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Khan nearly fumbled. 4.5 minutes gone in the first half. 0-0 Brisbane and Manly. Langer. Tessman looking for a lot of work. Again another switch. Long pass, beautifully taken by Renner. What a picker. He's got support too. He threw a bad ball back to Langer. Last tackle. Manly diving, claiming that they're picking up the ball. 6 more, in fact. Penalty to Brisbane. Get out of there, said McCallum. You'll see Roberts not standing square in that play of the ball. He knew it, and he was quick to turn around.
It kept the fans happy.
The new interchange rule tonight is certainly going to benefit Ian Roberts. He hasn't played since last year's semi-final. He's going to be looking for oxygen, despite the fact that he's one of the fittest players in the game. You've got to have match fitness, and you can't get it unless you play.
Wayne, you know plenty about defence, and this Manly side aren't missing.
No, and I'm particularly impressed with Ian Roberts. He's made 3 huge hits in this match, and he's obviously got a point to prove out there.
Tessman stood beautifully. Kevin Walters, the chase is on. Kerrod Walters was put down. Penalty to Brisbane. Now, G.
Well, G went in over the top there as well, and certainly didn't miss Tony Iro when Iro got back in defence for Manly. So it was Cunningham.
Now, the sin bin is on again. Matthew Ridge gets 5. For what? A trip on Kerrod Walters.
Also, have a look at, we missed it there at the end, but certainly Owen Cunningham dived on the loose ball and hit very, very late by Big Plowman. Be like a block of flats falling on you.
Madison will have this one from right in front. That interchange system is working overtime. The Broncos make a couple more changes. And here it is again. The kick from Kerrod Walters. Didn't appear to be a whole lot in it there with Ridge. Now the ball breaks away Cunningham. And I think it's G as he fumbles. Bang.
I feel a bit for Ridge on that one. You can't just disappear or go underground.
Yeah, I thought he might have got him for a trip, but there didn't appear to be a trip. He just turned his back. Madison from right in front. Madison. He doesn't make any mistake. 22 minutes gone. We finally get our first points of the Winfield Cup of 91. It's 2-0 Brisbane over Manly. Brisbane over Manly. The Sea Eagles back for the restart. Down for Langer. Now here's a task. Plowman to get some steam up. He just threw O'Donnell out of the way. You can't go high on him. Mind you, it's a tough assignment to go low.
I think you just say yours and move out of the way. Leave him for someone else.
Now, Dowling looked to knock that on as he played it. 40 metres out. To Gavin Allen it was who got the ball back. And then Madison didn't think. Straight to Ian Roberts.
David Lydiard on for Manly, and of course Ridge in the sin bin, and the young fellow at fullback now, the 19-year-old is at fullback, and that's Frank Stokes for Manly.
Williams gets it back for Cunningham. Manly now to try and reply. Just outside the Brisbane 22. They haven't had too many chances. Roberts. Roberts will play it right in midfield. Bella taking 3 defenders with him to settle play down. Open up one side of the attack for Hasler. Hasler switches. Dunford gets it back for Williams. Williams quickly taken, but he still managed to get a ball to Bella. Bella loses it in the tackle. And Brisbane go back and recover, but then knock on. Back for the original mistake from Bella. The force of the tackle, just as he took it to the line, bang, the shoulder charge from Allen popped it up.
It's interesting, the players say that on a dry day with the synthetic football, when the sweat hits the body, that the ball spins free. We saw a classic example of it there, and why the Rugby League didn't consult more clubs other than just Balmain and a rugby union team, I don't know.
Peter, we said it right throughout the Lotto Challenge. I think that the synthetic ball's the right idea, but this isn't the right ball.
It doesn't seem like it when tackles can jolt the ball from players with the experience of Bella.
Miles tries to straighten it up. To make matters worse, we've got a sticky night here in Brisbane. Dowling for Renoff. Renoff out for Khan. Frank Stokes. Can he do what Ridge did? Khan takes on Stokes. And Stokes showed him the sideline and kept him there. But Brisbane need a quick play of the ball. They're lined deep to the right. Dowling turns it for Gilmester. Williams was high. They've got back in time to regain that line, Manly. Langer. Inside for Miles. One-hander. Kerrod Walters. They keep it alive on the last. Knocked down by Hancock. Well, they did well to make it go to the last tackle, Manly. Now they're going to have another set of 6. Langer will have the all-important feed for Brisbane. They're looking a little weary as they make this scrum, the Manly forwards. They've been called on to make some great tackles. Langer. Shearer had gone the blind side as a decoy. Kevin Walters back up the middle. Langer now trying to get a lot more involved. He runs from dummy half looking for some support. There was none on that blind side.
They've got their radar set on that dummy.
Hasler made sure that he took his time to get off Langer, gave his team a chance to get back. 10 metres out from the Manly line. Kerrod Walters, Dowling. Dowling going backwards, ends up only 2 metres from the line. Now he dived out of there.
Certainly did. That should have been a penalty to Manly. That's a terrible play of the ball by Greg Dowling. He's only just come onto the field. A player of his experience. Dowling's career in the game really has probably been lengthened by this new ruling allowing the interchange, because the way he's been playing, there are suggestions that he's past his use-by date.
Interesting call. Wayne Pearce, Greg Dowling. Would you use him late in the game or early?
I would start the game with him because I think he's one of the best players in the game at gaining hard yardage, because of the fact that when he runs the ball up, the ball doesn't get passed back to him. He really gains that 3 or 4 yards extra that other players find it difficult to get.
What a welcome that was for Chris White to the Lang Park turf. Kick downfield, Khan. Great tackle from Williams. Geez, there have been some hits here.
That was a tremendous tackle. That was commitment by both players, and they hit him in the double.
Plenty of pain out here at Lang Park too. Johns. Just off balance as he was breaking the line there. Allen. Great performances from Brisbane in the lower grades. They hammered Manly 42-6, the 21s. And another big performance, 36 in reserves. But there's no such scoreline in the big one here in first grade. It's a tough one. Dowling, another mistake. Well, this time it was Miles who was under pressure as he tried to support him. Tough ball to take with some defence hanging on.
It's a fine line, isn't it? When do you pass? When don't you pass?
Turvey. Tony Iro. 61 tackles the Broncos have had it. Just the 39 for Manly.
They've lived with it, and that certainly won't suit Manly. I keep saying, but it's very important that they didn't even play a trial last weekend. They were thrashed by North Sydney the week before, and some of their forwards in particular have only played one part of a game this year. Roberts, this is his first appearance.
But he's joined this Manly side for a great start to our first Nissan Friday night football. O'Donnell, Hasler, sweating on those passes inside right up the middle. Hosking will play it 39 metres out. Back for Ridge. His thigh heavily strapped. Little chip. Hancock's coming through. Now, Plowman has been penalised for what?
I think using his elbow. The referee indicating an elbow or shoulder turning into the player as Dowling leaves the field.
Now here's the chip from Ridge. The call is Hancock chasing through. Oh, we've got Dowling actually for 5 minutes in the bin.
Worth noting again, but Manly took that ball back the short side, a switch of play, and Peter once again, Brisbane hadn't come up.
They certainly hadn't. Manly suffering from lack of possession in this football game. We just had the figures, and it's an overwhelming percentage to the Brisbane Broncos, and that is starting to tell on Manly, who are running one out. But if Ridge can pot this, and he's a great goal kicker, then it'll give Manly the impetus to maybe hang in there till half-time, and of course anything can happen then. They've got plenty of match winners in their side.
Ridge from just outside the 22, but only about 7 metres in from the sideline. He's angled from wide out. One of the best in the business at putting them between the woodwork. The rugby union convert last year who so quickly adapted. The atmosphere of this Lang Park crowd trying to ride this kick against him. Well, it helped him. He didn't pay any attention. Ridge gets the Broncos back square. It's 2-2 at Lang Park. And those brave supporters get a chance on the hill to fly the flag. That's what you call taking your life into your own hands at Lang Park.
Brave or stupid?
When you come from God's country, you're born brave. You have to be.
Shearer. Well, Langer was 5 metres offside from the kick. Cunningham will play it on the 22. Now, players are getting away with murder from kickoffs. Iro's brought down. Now, McCallum had his back to Langer. You watch Langer. There goes the line. He's a mile offside.
Well, it's easily solved. You give the touch judge the power to tell the referee.
It's unbelievable. Little halfbacks. They get away with murder. Bella. Tuvey. Hasler with that ankle strap. Gets it back for Tuvey, who doubled around. Ridge. Taken ball and all, but he showed some strength to get out of it.
We're seeing a different side to Jeff Tuvey's game tonight. He's being the ball distributor for Manly and getting away some very clever passes.
The kick from Darryl Williams. Shearer. The defence has put a lot of pressure on both sides in the handling department. Plowman hitting it up. And it's going against Brisbane. 9-5. G standing, looking for support. He'll have plenty of time. Kerrod Walters. Renoff. He called Khan inside. Khan still going. Now changes direction. Stokes misses him. Willie Khan might go all the way. No. Well, good determined chasing from Stokes and the crowd. Well and truly on their feet as the Broncos. 9 metres away. Kerrod Walters waited it for Langer, but he didn't read it. Kevin Walters gets it out the back for Miles, the captain of the Broncos. He gets the first try of the Whitfield Cup of 91 that sets Lang Park alight. They were looking tired, Manly. They couldn't hang on this time.
It's taken 33 minutes to come, but here it is on the Nissan replay. Kevin Walters take a bow. He went to the gap, got his hands free, and Gene Miles backed up to go all the way.
If you challenge the Broncos to broken field play, you're going to come off second best, and that's what happened here. Walters accelerates through the gap. Gene Miles runs into a yawning big hole and scores a great try.
The strength of the 5'8" Kevin Walters was the real capitalist here in this try, scored by the Brisbane Broncos captain Gene Miles, 29 years of age. What a tremendous competitor he is. Miles on the spot for the Broncos opening try, and what a vital time just prior to half-time for the Broncos to break the deadlock.
Now, another chat between the touch judge and McCallum.
I remember a few years ago we were involved in a game when a try wasn't awarded after circumstances like this, but it's too late here.
It'll be Terry Madison in front of a now very happy Broncos crowd. They really piled it on there. 1 from 1 for Madison. Shearer missed with an earlier attempt. A determined Manly side, but equally as determined the Broncos, the Lotto Challenge champions, edging ahead. Madison to try and add 2 more. He does the business. And it's the Broncos now. 8-2 over Manly. He's going to do plenty of celebrating in 91 because they are a tremendous side. Wayne Bennett would be happy that they got that try. He knows they needed it. He knows they really needed it. Try and put their stamp on this match before half-time. Plowman. Each and every time he's trying to return the ball, he picks out O'Donnell. Dowling back from the bin. Bella went in. Around the shoulders. Roberts helps to finish him off. Kerrod Walters. Dowling backed up well. Manly looking a little tired up the middle now.
You can't believe that. Brisbane will pass the ball from anywhere, but they're so good at it, they get away with it.
Renouf. 5 minutes till half-time. Gilmister. Madison. Madison taken just inside the Manly half, and it's the last tackle. Langer. Langer kicking. Way over the head of Stokes to the in goal. He won't have to worry. They'll get 22 free metres.
Good tactics from the Broncos, even though that kick didn't put any pressure on Manly. Manly are very tired at the moment. They've got a long way to get up the other end of the field. 5 minutes till half-time, and they are starting to make mistakes in possession of the football. That's what the Broncos are counting on now. Strong defence to rest free the football and then maybe grab another try just before the break.
Well, they're running two freshies on to try and solve it.
Hancock. 42 metres out from his own line. Iro came from way back. Gets his pass away, but not a good one. Mistakes from Manly. They need to settle things down here before half-time. Can't afford any more points laid on against them.
They've got problems in the forwards now simply because of that lack of match fitness there. Underdone, and it's showing.
Trying to use up some replacements. 12 big missed tackles against Manly. Ridge. Kicking low, driving it towards the sideline. Shearer will cut it off.
No pressure on Shearer.
Just takes the tackle of Cunningham, and also Stokes. Khan. No doubt the players, Wayne, will love this interchange on a sticky night in Brisbane.
Particularly the Brisbane players. Wayne Bennett has been using it extensively, and he's made at least 8-9 changes so far in the match. Graham Lowe, on the other hand, hasn't really changed the forwards much at all, and I think Martin Bella and Ian Roberts could deal with a break at this stage.
Well, Wayne, it's obvious that it's going to pick up the pace of the game of rugby league even more.
Well, we've seen that already tonight. I mean, the pace of this game is very similar to that of State of Origins, and when you consider that we're going to have the interchange rule right throughout the season, it's going to make a big difference.
But Graham, looking through a coach's eyes, what you've got to be careful of is you don't lose cohesion while you do it.
Last tackle against Brisbane. Just chipped into open space, and Ridge will have no problem with it. Taken by Renouf.
He doesn't strike me as being fit, Matthew Ridge. He's got his right leg heavily strapped as he plays the ball, and he's not running with the same vigour and pep that we normally expect from him. There's that hamstring done up like a trotter.
Roberts. Roberts was looking for somebody to straighten.
They're in a hole, Manly. They need their coach, Graham Lowe, to get to them, rev them up a bit because they're stopped. There's Bella again making a mistake.
Well, they've got to hang on for 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes and they'll have a chat in the dressing rooms and a rest. And Plowman should have stayed away from that sideline.
First tackle, and that will not please Wayne Bennett.
Incredible mistake from the Broncos on the first. So they should be able to play out time here, Manly, till half-time. They're still well in touch. Hasler. Miles tracked him from that scrum base. Roberts. Better support from the forwards. They haven't been doing it much, Manly. O'Donnell. They get into Brisbane, and the Brisbane half. Iro. Lacking a bit of communication as well. 60 seconds till the break. Roberts just hits it up off O'Donnell. Last tackle. Williams. He will find the sideline over the head. And Plowman didn't bother to interfere at all. Just made sure that they'd take the scrum and push it out near the sideline with only some 40 seconds remaining till the break. More than anybody, Peter, surely they've got to miss Cliff Lyons.
Yeah, they certainly do. He was the architect of Manly's last premiership in '87, and he's been their gun player ever since. And without him, they certainly like a ship without a rudder tonight here at Lang Park. They're hanging in, though. I said they'd be brave, and they're certainly giving a good account of themselves against a side that's had a magnificent preparation. There's Cliffy Lyons on the sideline, and he'll be out for another couple of weeks yet.
Also no O'Connor. But a good defensive line that's only been broken once in a tough first half. Nissan Friday night football here in Lang Park. The Broncos just ahead, 8-2. We'll be back right after this. All right. Well, let's see if we can get some red pen working for Stats and some more tries in this second half. Ridge to bring it back for Manly. Graham Lowe rushing back to his seat. As his side get it out of the 22 just.
And what those stats also show us is that Brisbane know Manly are underdone and they're moving the ball around on them. They're making them work and tiring them.
O'Donnell selecting his mark to Dunford. Hasler, Tuvey, shifting it and stepping. Taken! Renoff is try-bound. Ridge is coming across. He won't get there. Renoff! Well, they've stolen it. In the first minute of the second half, they've grabbed one out of the air.
Have a look at this on the Nissan replay. This is a bonus for Brisbane. Renouf put himself in the right spot at the right time and then had too much start for them.
A devastating blow here for Manly. Renoff was in the right spot, but also Manly were just pushing the ball in circumstances where they didn't have to.
Manly had to be the first team that scored in the second half. That wasn't a bad pass from Tuvey. Bad hands by big Tony Iro. And Renoff up for the prize. And there was no way Manly could pick him up. He's a very impressive player. That's about the third 30-metre run that he's made tonight, and it brought 4 points.
20 years of age on our Nissan player profile, Steve Renoff. Electrician apprentice. He sparked them right at the start. And this crowd had hardly had time to sit down. They'd all managed to turn to the bar or go and grab a softie. And some are going to miss out on the first try of the second half. Manly shattered. And Shearer from out wide missed with his attempt early in the match. He hangs this one up there, but this is also travelling wide. So a minor bonus for Manly, but Brisbane, they get it to 12-2. Miles. Tomorrow night on 10 Sport, the Gold Coast take on Western Suburbs. In Sydney, you will see it right after the movie. Right here in Brisbane, you'll see it at 8:30. Wally Lewis, our first look at him in new colours for the 1991 Winfield Cup. Can he spring the upset over the Magpies? It might be pretty tough down there on the coast. At home for the Western Suburbs outfit and their new coach, Warren Ryan. Langer. Matthew Ridge. He's got Stokes with him, but Renoff had about 15 metres to the sideline and he nearly got him over the chalk. Willie Kahn might get Stokes over there, but there's a penalty. Renoff has got to get out of there. Get away from the play of the ball, says McCallum. There was a real mess there for Stokes to try and pick up the ball, which gave Willie Kahn a mile of time. Near halfway. (15-9), those kicks from play from Manly. Now they get it back for Tuvey.
Of those 15 kicks that Manly have put in general play, there haven't been too many find the sideline or put pressure on Dale Shearer.
And that would have helped them, Peter, because if they could have forced a slower game with a lot of stoppages, it would have helped their condition.
That's where they're missing Cliff Lyons. Lyons would have found the sideline and put pressure on.
Exactly. Rather than kick long, they should be hitting for the edges.
Now, Hancock was called to play it by McCallum. Hancock said, I was never tackled.
Well, if the referee called on him to play it, it doesn't matter. He's got to play the ball, and he's taken a leaf out of Michael Hancock's book. He runs like a Queensland mud crab across the field and refuses to be tackled, and Craig Hancock there taking a leaf out of his book.
Madison to look for sideline. There's one thing to argue with 20,000 fans here at Lang Park, but when there's only one man in white, he's the most important. Jared Walters, the Tasman.
Brisbane playing with so much confidence at the moment. What Manly have to do is start and force errors. They've got to start and get Brisbane going backwards or pay the price.
Allen will play at 33 metres away from the Manly line. Madison hits it up. Miles is sweating on this right-hand side, and Langer comes across here quickly to switch it. Jared Walters, the runaround, brings in Johns.
They're not hurting them in tackles, Graham.
They've been forced to make a lot of tackles, Manly. And some important ones right now. Langer, Gilmister. Gilmister will play it right in front of the posts.
If you give Brisbane 60% of the football like they've had tonight, they've got to score.
Here it is to the in goal. Who wants it? Renouf got up there. Stokes got up there. It'll be a knock-on against Brisbane anyway. I think Renouf was the man that knocked it forward. So they get a chat restart. But the kick was weighted well. They had plenty of chases. Renouf climbed above everybody, and he ruled that he knocked it on. So much happening here at Lang Park, and so much happening in round one of the Winfield Cup. Talking about the big league, the official magazine of the New South Wales Rugby League is out on sale at all newsagents. Plenty of good reading there, Pete.
Yeah, there certainly is, and big league with all the big stories, and of course the official organ of the New South Wales Rugby League.
Get it at all newsagents or at the grounds this weekend.
It's a wonderful first round of the Winfield Cup, and of course on Channel 10 we'll be also covering British Rugby League, and there's a very interesting match on too. So Rugby League action coming out of your ears on the 10 network.
Yes, we'll see that St Helens versus Wakefield at 1 p.m. tomorrow on a big Saturday of Rugby League.
Really so difficult even to pick a match of the day on Sunday, isn't it? I mean, Canterbury and Balmain is a great game. So too St George, Parramatta and Norths and Canberra.
The first of our MMI big games will come your way on 10 Sports at 6. And the Tigers, without Wayne Pearce for the first time, he'll be doing a tough sideline, won't you?
I sure will be, but I think the way this game's shaping up, I'd rather be sideline than out there. There's been some huge hits out there tonight.
Rugby League looking in 91 to have found another cog, some more pace. The Tigers are special Sunday, are they?
Oh, without a doubt, put your money on them. I think tonight the Broncos look specials as well. I mean, they've comprehensively outplayed Manly, although Manly are a little bit under strength now.
Just lacking something to hurt them in attack. Turvey. Well, there was nobody on his inside. It's the last against Manly. Iro goes to dummy half. Ridge. Once more it'll be a bomb. Dunford coming down on Shearer. Well, they didn't really put pressure to him. Nobody climbed up above to challenge him.
If you put the ball in the air, you've got to go for it. It's no good watching the opposition catch it.
By the same token, there's a magnificent take from Dale Shearer. He has flown very high tonight and taken the ball beautifully on a couple of occasions. Very talented player when he's hot, and he's hot.
19 minutes gone in the second half of Nissan Friday Night Football. And the Broncos at home lead 12-2.
It's only early days yet, but what we've seen tonight from him, Greg Dowling's going to struggle to get a permanent spot in this Brisbane side. For a long time, he's been the cornerstone of the Broncos pack, but the young Lions are coming to get him, and he may take a month or two to get into the sort of nick that Wayne Bennett wants him in.
Dowling moves upfield as the Broncos pin Manly down about 34 out from their own line. Turvey trying to spread it. Hancock straightens this time. Trying to spin out of the Dowling tackle. Stokes Could nearly have been another penalty against Brisbane there in the play of the ball.
Should have been. Dowling was loitering.
Bella. Solid charge from Bella. G just threw himself at him. Now, out of all of that, Gavin Allen is the one that's ended up coming off the worst. Well, he wasn't involved in the tackle. It was Madison, I'm sorry. I thought it was Gavin Allen underneath that. Madison slightly to his feet. We've got a touch judge in. The interchange working once more.
The interchange has certainly been working to great effect tonight, and it has already put a new aspect on the game. The game is so quick at the moment, and the interchange players used properly are going to have a marked effect on every game we watch.
And Bill, well used by Bennett.
Very well used, but the players might complain if they have to take a pay cut and don't play the full 80 minutes.
Somehow there won't be any pay cuts. Inside the 22. Langer will have the feed. Now, Tony Iro was off, and I believe Wayne won't be back.
No, he's got bruised ribs, and they're also resting him for the next match.
Have they given up, Wayne?
I don't know if they've given up, but I think they don't want to send too many troops out there to battle because it's pretty tough out there at the moment.
Well, they haven't given up in defence.
Any player in maroon and white won't give up, and any first-grade player in the Winfield Cup won't give up either. They'll go right to the line. They are only down 12-2.
Now, swinging arm from O'Donnell. Went over the top. Dowling. Gavin Allen standing for a long time. They're screaming for a try, Manly. A try that would throw it open and put some pressure right to Brisbane. Madison up the middle.
When you bisect the game and you take Brisbane's try just prior to half-time, one straight after it, it really has been a dogfight out there tonight, and both sides very tired at the moment.
Stokes. Manly have spent a long time in the Brisbane half, in the second half, for no result.
You've got to get the ball over the try line to get points. As far as position's concerned and possession, they've had their share, but the Brisbane defence has been the most dogged that I have ever seen it.
Turvey gets it on the other side of that halfway line.
Graham, I always said about Brisbane, they'd never win a competition until they could start and win games with their defence. Tonight, they're showing some of that strength.
So you say they're going to win the comp?
I never said that.
Reg.
If they beat Canberra on this form, I'm a skinny Chinaman instead of a fat Greek. They've really got to lift their game to win this premiership. I think on this display tonight as well.
John's with the ball.
And it's not four-quarter football now.
John's still going. It's quite a day, isn't it? St Patrick's Day Sunday. Most Australians celebrated on Friday, and we've got a Greek in the commentary. Garrett Walters. Dowling all wrapped up as Brisbane try and get it out of their half. Well, they certainly do miss Cliffy Lyons, this Manly side. He's been used as a runner out there by Graham Lowe. He's joined Wayne Pearce sideline.
Yes, I think they're missing some experience and also a bit of touch of flair out there tonight, Cliff. Probably missing you.
Yeah, it seems to look that way. We're not using the ball very well. We're sort of not. We're just getting tackled with. We're not creating anything.
You must be pleased with the way your forwards have toiled in defence. I mean, they've really worked hard right throughout this match.
Yeah, they have. We haven't had much ball for the whole game through silly mistakes, and they've done really well.
And when do you expect it back?
Hopefully in about 2 weeks. 3 weeks at the most.
All the best, and thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, Wayne.
Well, Manly need him back.
Yeah, Mr.
Not in 3
Creativity.
weeks, next week. Tessman back off the bench and into the front row.
We want to hit, Tessie. We want to hit.
Hancock. Taken by Kevin Walters. 24 minutes gone in this second half. Still plenty of time for Manly to do something. 12-2 to the Broncos. Bella. Bella needs somebody to support him every time he takes it up. Turvey. Stokes. Frank Stokes, great ball. Well, you can't blame Stokes for this one. Lydiard was there, right on his left-hand side, and he put it down.
Good run by Stokes, and this young fellow playing very well. Got the ball away. That should have been taken by David Lydiard, and Lydiard will be disappointed. Manly's had 3 half chances tonight, and the ball's gone to ground every time.
That was nearly better than a half one. They had men over too, supporting
They certainly
Lydiard.
did. They just haven't carried on, and you can't afford to have missed opportunities against a side like Brisbane.
2-1 those missed tackles against Manly. Manly get it back. Cunningham gets it to halfway. Jones. Langer takes him ball and all. Bella goes down the blind side. G is there, taking him low. They really do need Iro at this stage, but he won't be back in the match. Stokes playing at 5'8". Williams. Last tackle against Manly. Hanging in there, trying to produce this important try. Tuvey gets it over the sideline and right on the 22.
They really are super athletes with no breaks in this type of football. It's the first time they've gone over the 2 40-minute halves, and it's really starting to tell now. The 4 quarters of the Lotto Challenge, certainly you see players like Tessman, Dowling and G, who's gone into hooker now, really gasping for oxygen.
Now I mentioned Manly had to make 2-1 those missed tackles. Overall possession doesn't really tell it, does it? It's pretty square. But they've made up a lot from that first half, Manly.
That's probably allowed them to stay in the game, Graham, because in the first half the possession was well the Broncos' way.
Miles. Tuvey again hounded him and got him low. Out of dummy half. Miles. He gets them back up near halfway. Dowling to take over. Dowling still going. Good solid run to get it 40 metres out from the Manly line. Langer. Tessman. Midfield last tackle. Langer with the kick. To the sideline and to the goal. Over the sideline. Only a metre from the line. The touch judge will bring it back 5 out for the scrum. Good kick from Langer. Also trying to encourage Hancock in the chase to the in goal, but it broke on him. And over the sideline.
One thing Manly have done well tonight is contain Alan Langer. That man, Owen Cunningham's played his part in doing it. So too has Jeff Tuvey, who has gone to half-back for Manly. But Tuvey, Cunningham and Hasler have contained the little Alfie very, very well.
Pete, I think he's risen to the challenge. What he's done is adjust his game. He knew he was a marked man, and he's been more concerned with directing traffic and putting other people into holes and getting this side going in the right direction.
Good run from Cunningham. Langer just directing the traffic in defence. Pointing players into holes. Dory will play it. O'Donnell for John Jones. There's no Roberts in this second half for Manly. Martin Bella's done a lot of work for he and Roberts in the second 40 up the middle. Last tackle against the Sea Eagles. Ridge is way back. Tessman dive trying to charge it down.
Ridge gave him every chance. He took a lot of time to get that kick in.
A good strong line from Manly too, so with about 11 and a half minutes remaining in this match, there's still plenty of enthusiasm from Manly. 12-2 the Broncos. They still just can't completely break free of Manly.
I suppose you then ask the question, put Lyons and O'Connor in here and do they make up the points difference?
There's no doubt that Manly got more improvement in them than the Broncos at this stage of the season, comparing their respective preparations for the opening round of the Winfield Cup and what they've got to come back. Manly have only had their coach since last Monday night. That's a tough call.
Said like a true Sea Eagle.
Yeah, and with a lot of sense there too, because it is a fact that they haven't had the preparation that the Broncos have had.
Kevin Walters. He'll find the sideline inside of Ridge. It's 12-2 here at Lang Park. Lang Park on Nissan Friday Night Football, the first of the year. Manly need to find 10, maybe 11 points.
10 will do, Graham.
You'll be happy with one Winfield Cup point.
Would I what? Come on.
Tuvey tried hard all night.
He's a great little trier, and he's a wonderful competitor too. He's had a magnificent game. There's Des Hasler on the sideline with Dr. Bob Heim, the Manly medical man. He's got more than 11 years of service at the Eagles.
He's going to be working hard all week. Bruised ribs for Iro, ankle trouble for Hasler, and still no O'Connor and Lyons.
It's an amazing thing, you know, when you start to get a run of injuries, it just seems to keep going.
Bella. Can they find this try, Manly? Tuvey.
Bob Heim can fix injuries that Manly players have never seen. He's a gynaecologist.
I won't answer you, Zorb. Hancock turns around. Here comes. Well, I was going to say that he was nearly going to mess that up. Michael Hancock had Craig Hancock chasing right down to the try line. 9.5 minutes left for Manly. Shearer 5 metres out from his own line. Kevin Walters. They got a try through an intercept from Renouf inside the first 60 seconds of this second half. And the Broncos haven't been able to find another one since. But they do have 2 on the board. Manly none. Langer. Here's a chance with some runners. Madison. Plenty of Bronco shirts here. Kerrod Walters seemed to run away from them though. He headed back infield when he had all the rest of his support back on his right. Miles. Last tackle. Miles tried to be delicate, but he wasn't even close. Way out on the full. He took his time, tried to set himself.
And lost his kicking licence.
Well and truly out.
He's the captain. He can do as he likes, June Miles.
Langer, as he nearly always does in at least one game, steals the ball. Kevin Walters. Well, Manly has thrown everything into it. Maybe now with about 8 minutes to go, this is the time where the Broncos grab a third and deciding try. Kerrod Walters calls for Dowling. Dowling has support from Allen. Allen back to Kerrod Walters. Then to Madison. Madison has Johns. Johns trying to find a hole. But the defence holds well. Inside the 22 now. And the Broncos fans set up a chant they want another 4-pointer. Hancock. Atmosphere tremendous for this home side as they search for more points. Now, Hancock was arguing and wrestling in the tackle. Frustration from a man who's out of touch. He's lost his confidence at the start of the season.
Yeah, he certainly has, and lost his spot in the first grade side, a kangaroo tourist. He lost his test spot last year. So there he is now. Here's the frustration showing in Hancock as Martin Bella pushes the ball out of his hands. That really should have been a penalty to the Broncos.
Yeah, well, the replay catches us all the time. We've been saying it through the Lotto Challenge. I don't know what the league are going to do about it. Players are getting away with it every match.
Yeah, but if you don't put your lollies in the pocket, someone's going to pinch them.
Point taken. 7 minutes remaining. Hosking. 12-2 to the Broncos.
Manly spent a lot of time in the second half inside their own quarter, Bill Anderson.
Yeah, they have, Zorb. You know, they're on the dance floor, but it's a bit hard to hear the band from down where they are, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. They've got to get at the other end of the football field.
Reg stepping. Creates some time to put a left foot kick in. And plenty of Manly shirts down there. Hancock steps inside. Taken from behind by Lydiard. Langer. Kevin Walters quickly for Renouf. Now Khan. Khan a little chip ahead. Stokes is getting back. Stokes can't handle. Brisbane get it. Brisbane have got it.
Referee McCallum beautifully positioned there. He was almost on the ground as that ball was picked up.
Langer. Dowling. Quick hands. Beautiful hands from Miles. And Madison. Michael Hancock now. He'll have support. Goes backwards to try and start again. Still across field. can't. Renouf tries to straighten. Kevin Walters certainly straightens. Well, they kept it alive. Not a lot of territory gained, but plenty of passing. Allen knocked down by Manly. 6 more tackles. Well, McCallum never called it. They might need 6 more.
He missed it. Should have been 6 more.
That's the second time he saved the try tonight. Dowling. Dowling for Miles. Miles gets it back. Now off a Manly player.
Did he play at it?
Well, it was thrown at him. It might have just hit him in the forehead, I think. Miles was going out over touch, and he threw it back. Should be a Manly put-in. Now, who's putting it in? They've given it to Langer.
They've given it to Langer, so the touch judge is not doing his job, and he's got no hair in the way of his eyes.
Johns. Johns to the outside of Lydiard. Johns still going.
They can't keep them out any longer.
5 metres away. Inside the last 5 minutes just now. The Broncos. Is it try number 3? Dowling. Alan Langer. He loses it when the try was on. They just grabbed him. He looked like he was going to break through. Grabbed from behind. He mightn't have even got there, but he might have had a chance to pop it up to support.
We're in the final 5 now, and Manly are a very tired football side. So too are the Broncos, for that matter. But the Broncos seem to go better when Terry Madison is on the football field.
He forced his way back after starting in reserve grade last year and ended up in their top side.
And he is a State of Origin player.
Certainly he's a very clever ball player too. He's been going to dummy half, taking the pressure off Kerrod Walters and directing play very well again tonight.
The biggest point scorer in the club, specialist kicker.
And has played more games than anyone else in the club.
What hasn't he done? Little chip through. Knocked on. Now, we thought Iro wasn't going to get back out there, but he did. Bruised ribs and all. If it hadn't set up for him, it was a good opportunity.
Well, Iro, of course, missed the ball straight after half-time, which led to the try scored by Renouf for the Brisbane Broncos, and a very frustrated Big Tony Iro.
Langer. Shearer. Kevin Walters. Hancock. Away from Stokes. Michael Hancock to the 22. Kerrod Walters. Nice quick play of the ball, trying to catch Manly out. Andrew G's taken.
I don't know how Manly is still hanging on. Brisbane are running them ragged.
Kerrod Walters for Chris Johns. He's taken on the 10-metre line. Right in front of the posts. The Broncos set themselves. Langer to the left. He changes. Taken by Dunford. They've marked him well tonight.
They certainly have, and bad play the ball there. Didn't play the ball at all, and the referees allowed it to continue.
Looked as though he might have knocked it on. Tessman, a couple of metres away. It's the last. Dowling's going to try something. The kick to the in goal. It's a real mess. It's a try, is it? No. He said that Manly got to it. G dived, and they called for the try. McCallum in perfect position. He got into the in goal quick to have a look at this kick. It got away, but then it was touched. Good call from McCallum. Dory did get a hand to it on the line. 2 minutes to go, and the fans still calling for another try here from the Broncos. That scoreline is a great respect to Manly and their character.
Yeah, and Graham Lowe's got a lot to work on for Manly tonight. They've hung in there, and they've refused to succumb to the power and speed of the Broncos in the second half when they could have turned it up, and they didn't.
Renouf. Out over the sideline. Scrum to go down 32 metres out. McCallum calling out to the Broncos backline to get back 5 metres from the scrum. Good push from Brisbane, and they screw the scrum, but Turvey still comes up with it. Look at those missed tackles from Manly. Mind you, they've had to make a lot. G tried to produce the big hit. Chris White plays it 40 metres out. 60 seconds remaining. And the Lotto Challenge champions, Brisbane, have reminded everybody again about their Winfield Cup aspirations now. trying to make it a double. Stokes. Iro for Ridge.
Not
Nowhere
too
to
many
go.
Manly players want to run with it now. They're really suffering out there at the moment.
Passing's just one part of the game. This is another important part to run.
Pete, it's a case of the mind's willing, but the body's not able.
Oh, they're very, very willing, but they're fallen in a hole now, and I don't blame them. As I said, they simply haven't had the preparation.
Langer. Gilmister. Got the ball up for Kevin Walters. They might finish on the right note. Lydiard came again to grab Johns. Tessman. Tessman right up the middle. Still looking for some support players. There's the siren. And the good crowd here at Lang Park came looking for a win. And the first Winfield Cup points of the season for their home side, Brisbane. They get it in a solid performance, but they were pushed to the limit. Manly, minus some key players, they might have lacked direction in attack, but plenty of character in defence. And Brisbane have the 2 points. 2 tries tonight to Brisbane. They got home 12-2. The skipper Miles got the first of the season of 91. Renouf got one just after half-time. 2 goals to Madison. The single goal to Matthew Ridge. 12-2 Brisbane over Manly here at Lang Park.